Hey everyone, I know it's been a little over a year, I think, since I last updated a video, but I was in school. And for those of you who are in college, you know. And without further ado, let's talk about books. Okay, so the first book that I'm going to talk about is Forgive My Fins by Tara Lynn Childs. As you can tell, this book is literally falling apart, but I had this since I was in 5th grade. I love mermaids, like H2O, makeup mermaids, but you know, H2O is that girl, okay? She's that girl. But it has truly been an adventure reading this book. It's about this main character called Lily, and she is a princess, a mermaid princess from Thalassemia. And she's like, I guess, this everyday high schooler. She's, of course, in like the weird crowd, or not even the weird crowd, just a different crowd, versus like the popular kids. You know how cliche high schoolers scenarios are. So in high school she is I guess a journalist, or she's a journalist for the swim team on campus, and she is in love with this boy named Brody. And it's of course like unrequited love, but yeah, she loves him, but she's scared to approach him with that romantic sense. So she kind of figures out a way, but of course her next door neighbor named Quince, who for those of you who want to read the book, skip ahead. I'm about to spoil it for y'all. Sorry. But Quince loves Lily. But of course, like, he's being your everyday typical boy. He teases her. Which honestly is not nice, y'all. It's not nice to tease. But whatever. So he teases her, and he comes up with this idea of approaching Brody, who just broken up with his girlfriend, who just broken up with his girlfriend. And so the plan was, she goes into like this library at night during the spring fling, because there was this dance that was going on. Sorry, there's like car noises going by, but like, and she has like this class ring that Brody gave to his ex-girlfriend that I guess he wanted back. As she was waiting for him in the library, Quince actually shows up, and Lily was about to confess, you know, her love for him, but Quince ended up kissing Lily, which spurs everything up. She actually initiated the bond. The bond is typically a mermaid bond between a human and a mermaid, or a mermaid and a merman. And it's kind of like this I wanted to say psychosis, but a merging between two souls. That's basically what bonding is. So yeah, after that it's like crazy. He goes into her world, and like, because he breathes of the water now that they're bonded officially, it's kind of like a marriage contract. Or not even a contract, because marriage isn't a contract, you know what I'm saying? But it's kind of like a marriage. That's how deep it is. So yeah, and that was Forgive My Fins. This book is honestly had me like crying, laughing. So humor is top notch. And I of course have like the entire series. I don't know what happened to Forgive My Pearls, or whatever, Fins Are Forever. I don't know what happened to that book. I think it got lost because we moved a lot growing up. So I just have 2 books from her of the series. And the next series that I have is the Waterfire series. And let me tell y'all, this mermaid book set this like bar so high that I don't think any mermaid book can reach the level of depth, of the level of adventure and romance into a series. So what I have for y'all is Deep Blue by Jennifer Donnelly. I have literally the entire series. Like, there's Rogue Wave, Dark Tide, and then sea spell. And I don't think this series get enough recognition, just how very well developed each character is. Like, you can see yourself in each character. That's how well it is written. And like the world of the story is so like intuitive, and all the little intricate details that it creates to make a world. Like, the adventure within this makes you want to be part of that world. So the main character for this series is Seraphina. She is the princess of Muramara. I believe that's how you pronounce it. And in a couple of days, she's going to be crowned to be like the official princess. But during the coronation, there was an invasion, and the invaders killed both of her parents, the king and the queen. So she had to escape, and that was like the whole... So it's kind of like a self-discovery journey within that. And again, this was Deep Blue by Jennifer Downey. And the next series that I have is The Chemical Garden Trilogy by Lauren DeStefano. I have the entire series. It's kind of like a dystopian kind of self-journey as well. If you're like into sci-fi and like romance combined, this is like the series for you. But the main character is Ryan, and she has a twin brother named Rowan. But as they were, I guess, going to the grocery store or coming back to something, she gets kidnapped. Yeah, it's that type of story. So she gets kidnapped, gets sold into like this kind of human trafficking type thing, where they pick who's like the prettiest of all the girls that they have riled up, and then they get sent off into like this wealthy family so they can produce children for them. Because in this story, there's like this disease that's going on where people are dying young. So the men usually die at 25, and then the women die at 20. And so they're trying to like hurry up, especially like the wealthy, they're trying to hurry up and establish an heir before they pass away. And that's where the human trafficking came in, unfortunately. But Ryan is like she's very powerful in this story, and she stands on her own. She will not be, you know, put in a cage, because it is like a cage, these women. So yeah, it's like a very emotional story. It's a very emotional story for all the characters, not just Ryan, but like for Gabriel, who is her romantic partner in this series, as well as the 3 other women that were chosen to be the wife of so-and-so. So I believe their names are Jenna. It's been a while since I read the series. Jenna, Cicely, and homegirl. I forgot her name. But yeah. And again, this was The Chemical Garden Trilogy, Wither. And then another book that I have for you is Words of Silk by Sandra Brown. I don't know if you'll focus. Okay, there you go. This book is so deeply romantic for me. I'm a romantic at heart, so you know, I enjoyed reading this book. But the main character is Lanely, and she's kind of like this timid young woman. She's 27, I believe, in this story. And she encountered this lawyer called Deke Sargent. And, you know, first chapter, they get stuck in an elevator. And she's very claustrophobic. And she hyperventilates, and like Deke like calms her. And then like there's like this moment that happens between them when the lights cut back on, because it was like a blackout basically. And now that I think about it, it's quite controversial. This was written like the 90s or 80s, so there's some stuff in here that people people will not agree with now, but I enjoyed reading it. So yeah, again, this was Words of Silk by Sandra Brown. And I also have like, I only picked one book because I have like an entire collection of her books. I got French Silk. I got Not Even for Love. I got A Treasure Worth Seeking, which is like one of my favorites. So yeah. And this other book is Wings of Starlight by Alison Saft. I'm not familiar with her work, but I gotta say, growing up watching Tinkerbell from a young age and then like reading it, it definitely brought me back to like the Tinkerbell world, if I do say so myself. And the way it was written was, I was like, oh, I'm going back into my childhood. But because one of my favorite movies from that whole collection is The Secret of Wings. And seeing their love story from like the origin of it, y'all, I was hooked. I was like, oh. I was like, oh, okay. But there was a subplot in here that almost threw me off. I was like, huh. But to be honest, it almost ruined the book for me. But it was a good read for sure. And then I have Single, Dating, Engaged, Married by Ben Stewart. This book has really gave me a new perspective on what it is to actually wait in the single season, because I'm a Christian. So I'm not gonna lie, the waiting season, it has been difficult. Seeing everybody else, just like all kidding aside, this book has really given me a new perspective on what it is, how to approach marriage, how to approach dating, into a healthier version versus to what I've been doing, or versus to my BC days before Christ. Your girl wasn't from the streets, but like, I put my toe in there and I was like, nope. So that was it. Oh. And then the other book that I have is Let Me Be a Woman by Elizabeth Elliot. I haven't read this book yet, but it's basically a biblical feminine type feel with how to be a wife and a mother, as well as keeping your peace, keeping God's peace. It's basically what it is. And also navigating motherhood versus like being a spouse to your husband. So and self-discipline as well. It teaches self-discipline. So I was like, oh, okay, this is a nice grab, Amazon, y'all. And then the other book that I have is The Joy of the In-Between by Ashley Hetherington. I believe that's how you pronounce the name. This is basically like 100 devotions for trusting God in your waiting season. Like I said before, my waiting season is yeah. So this was, reading this at night, this is like a great start to end my day, as well as like, of course, praying. This is like a nice way of reading something and then falling asleep. So I'm glad that I got this book. And then I have Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte. I believe that's how you say that. I've always wanted to get like more classical books, and I watched the movie like years ago. It's been years, but I finally have the book. So hopefully I'll have like because certain movies, especially Hollywood, they don't really follow it from like book to book. They just create their own, and they always mess it up. At least for me. I don't know how y'all feel about that, but they always mess up some sort of plot or some sort of character in like a book versus what the movie did. So anyway, this is kind of like a self-discovery as well as navigating an emotional perspective for her, because she's an orphan and she grew up in not a very good way, an unfortunate way, but she encounters a man, and I guess she's skeptical. Like I said, it's been years since I watched the movie. I should probably read the synopsis of this so I can get a new understanding. But yeah. And this was Jane Eyre. And now, the final book. I have The Secret History by Donna Tartt. Now, I've heard so many good things about this book. I know that certain people recommended this book to me because they know that I love reading. So, and this book is thick, y'all. I'm just like, oh, okay, y'all. But I'm excited about reading because it's about, I guess, a group is what I've been told. A group of students who uncover like the mysteries. I kind of like mysteries, but then again, you know how some authors be dragging stuff out. I hope that's not the case for this, because yeah, I would be wasting my money. But anyway, and then saving the best for last. I'm like almost plucked my out, but the Holy Bible. Right now, I've read the New Testament, and now I'm reading the Old Testament. And let me tell y'all, Genesis. For those of y'all who know, Lot's daughters. Lot's daughters, y'all. That's all I have to say about that. But I'm in 1 Samuel, so I'm reading when David finally becomes king, or is in transition to become king, because King Saul is still, you know, king, but David's like getting his army together. Saul was about to eliminate him like what, 3 times? I'm just like, Saul, what's going on? So yeah, that's all the books to have. Let me know in the comments what series that you have read or what you are trying to get into more, and let me know what you're definitely getting, because I want to know, and write you some more recommendations about what it is that I've read for like the last 23 years of my life. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.